Hello and welcome back to another video where today I'll be taking you through 6 tips that kill productivity when studying. Now, some of these you may not like, and if that's the case, it's probably because you fall into one of them, but I can guarantee you that it will be a hindrance, not a help. So starting out then with tip number 1, stop constantly questioning why you're learning something. And to be clear, what I'm referring to here is not questioning why something is what it is. That is something I'd actually highly recommend doing. This is questioning why you're learning something in the first place, i.e., when am I going to use this in the future? Now, I can tell you when, in your exam, in 6 weeks' time. But beyond that, you don't know is the truth. You might do, you might not do. But the point is, it doesn't really matter because you need to know it for your exam. I can tell you the full end-to-end process of the formation of an oxbow lake learnt within GCSE geography about 16 years ago. I haven't used it since, but I needed to know it at the time, and sometimes it is as simple as that. But worrying about it or getting stressed over it is a waste of time. Tip number 2, avoid the phone check. It's a one-way ticket to wasting 20 minutes and you trick yourself. That's the worst part. Oh, just going to check the time. Oh, message has popped up. I'll check that while I'm here. Oh, Instagram link. Watch that. That's hilarious. Let me see if I can find that one that I watched the other day. Send it back. 20 minutes later. Oh dear, I've done it again. Move your phone into a different room. If you need to put it on loud in case you get a phone call, then that's fair enough. But get it out of sight and out of reach because it is one of the biggest productivity killers there is. Tip number 3, overplanning. Now, there is nothing wrong with having a plan. A rough guideline as to when you'd like to hit certain targets or goals is good. Overplanning, on the other hand, is a complete waste of your time and generally ends up in you doing very little. This is because you're so focused on planning what to learn, how you're going to learn it, what resources are there, when are you going to learn, what highlighters will you use, what paper do I need to write on, is it color-coded with the correct tabs? I could keep going on and on here, but the point is that at some point the planning has to stop and the work needs to begin. Actually opening up your book might be the hardest thing that you have to do. Tip number 4, focusing too much on the future, and often the same people who struggle with overplanning also struggle with this. Again, having an idea of what your end goal is and where you'd like to eventually end up is absolutely fine. It's good. Obsessing or worrying about future decisions is pointless though. If the decision is dependent on another 2 to 3 years worth of work and passing exams, then it simply isn't one to worry about right now, is it? All that's doing is taking time and energy which could be directed to what needs to be done right now. Number 5 is not testing yourself enough. Now, I've seen this far too many times where rather than having a go at the questions as a student, you'll just reread sections that you've been over 5 or 6 times before, or you'll open up the answers at the same time as you start the questions. So before even having a go, you're looking at the answers. Now, that can be for 2 reasons. Firstly, just down to simple laziness. Can't bother to give it a go myself, I'll just look at the correct ones, which there's a simple enough solution there. Just stop being lazy. We've all been in that mood before. It can happen once or twice, but don't make it a habit. Now, the other reason is a bit more complicated, and that is fear of failure. And I think this is something that people don't want to admit, even to themselves, as they'd rather just not give it a go to avoid that knock in confidence if something is wrong. But all I can say is, it doesn't matter if it's wrong. That's what you're doing. You're practicing. You're not going to have the answers in the real exam. So if you get something wrong, you'll learn from it. It triggers a response. It's why people will say, I know that for next time. But without getting it wrong initially, you don't get that. So going straight to the answers, you're just hoping that you'll remember. But there's generally a lack of understanding when doing it that way. So remember, always test yourself properly. have a good go at the practice questions, especially the written ones, before looking at the answers. Now, the last productivity killer is watching too many videos or listening to too many podcasts on productivity. I made sure to leave this one until the end because, I didn't want you to turn off the video. Now, self-development is good, and doing research into a topic or getting tips is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't get into an endless loop of listening to hours and hours worth of podcasts from business gurus and CEOs, because they got to where they are through work, not spending all of their time listening to other people's work. So again, I just want to reinforce, in your spare time where you might normally watch TV, sitting on a podcast is no problem at all. It's probably more productive. But the trap is thinking that you're doing something very productive by listening to a podcast, but without actioning anything that you've learned. So that wraps up this video on how to avoid productivity killers during your study. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.